Right, we should be on. I'm going to go into Facebook now. We should be. Then we go into the group.
It says we are.
Yeah. I'm just going to go onto the group now. So bear with me 2 seconds. I'll just go into the group. And then I can see you. Ah! Hold on a minute. I think we have you. We have you in a live conversation. Right.
Good.
Okay. So, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to apologise for the for us coming on late. We just had a little technical fault. I think it's just StreamYard actually playing up. So it's just one of those things. But better late than never, as they say. So, first of all, guys, I would like to introduce you to the person I'm interviewing this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Laura Charles here, wedding and events planner and stylist, and she also coaches and mentors the wedding industry. Laura is based in Marbella in Spain. So, just to introduce myself to you, my name is Jonathan Waterman. I'm an award-winning wedding and events Toastmaster, coordinator, planner, celebrant, auctioneer, consultant, and a booking agent for all other services. I'm really delighted to be interviewing this top wedding planner, an event specialist, an industry coach. Now, Laura's of Revival Weddings and Events. She's based, as I say, she's based in Marbella and not only covers the whole of Spain, but also covers the whole international circuit. I've known Laura for many years, and her professionalism, reliability, creativity, and delivery is never in doubt. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through this, and I'm going to ask Laura some questions. So, hi Laura, very good evening.
Hello. Good evening from Spain.
Good evening to you from Spain. And how's the weather looking over there?
It's been awful, absolutely awful, but we've stolen our sunshine back.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. Well, you may have taken it slightly from us today, to be honest with you, because, you know, today we've had a lot of rain, a lot of storms. So, but
yeah, we've got it back. We stole it back.
Yeah. So first of all, Laura, I would like to ask you to just reiterate, tell people who you are and what you do. Just reiterate on what I said.
Right, my name's Laura. I live in Marbella, and I set up Revival Weddings 13 years ago. And we create destination weddings all throughout Spain. We do Seville, Malaga, Ronda. We tend to concentrate on Andalusia now. We used to do Barcelona, but we've stopped going up there. That's why I met you, actually, Jonathan, in Barcelona, wasn't it?
Yes, we did.
At the wedding planning conference. So that's what I do. We do medium to high-end weddings in Spain, and they tend to be bespoke. So we find the clients' venues and bring in all the different suppliers. So we don't really do package style weddings.
So that's a very good thing, because you're going to work hard. You're going to work closely with the client to make sure it's exactly what they want. Now, whether that be a beach wedding, whether that be in a villa, whether that be in a hotel, you're more than happy to accommodate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's working out your ideal clients and what your niche is, because obviously there's a lot of people in the wedding industry, and people specialise in particular style weddings. So, for example, here we've got wedding planners that specialise in Northern European beach weddings, but smaller weddings, and we've got wedding companies that just do the hotel weddings. So, everybody varies, and everybody's got a different niche that they fit into. So when clients are looking for a Norwegian wedding planner that does small beach weddings, we've got the perfect person for them. So, whereas I wouldn't do that.
Hello, Laura.
Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so good. Thought that was going then.
So no, that's really, really good, to be honest with you, what you've just actually said. I mean, the majority of your clients that you get, are they locally in Spain, or do they come from America, from Canada?
From everywhere. So the States, Canada, Dubai, Bangkok, Hong Kong, the UK, sometimes from Ireland, all over the world. We've got a couple next year from Australia.
Oh, wow. So far and wide, really. I mean, is a lot of your work... Is a lot of your work based on recommendations on families that might have had a wedding before and they want to employ you again as a planner or as a stylist? Is it what it is, how it works for you?
Often they come through the website, social media, Instagram. We get a lot of referrals because obviously I've been in business a long time.
Yeah.
So this June we were supposed to be doing the fourth brother of one of the families that I've
Oh,
done the last 3 weddings for, but that's now next June. We've
yeah.
postponed that one.
Oh, well.
But yeah, it's quite a few referrals. I've got another couple who's friends with a couple I did last year from San Francisco. So quite, you know, they're coming all over the place, really.
Do you know what? That is absolutely fantastic. To be totally honest with you, I mean, that you've actually got that. Now, yeah, Laura, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So we're going into so basically budget wise for your clients where you are in Marbella and the kind of market you have. What kind of budgets are you dealing with roughly?
My deal, so I do medium to high end, so anything really from 40,000 up
Yeah,
for 100 people. I do say to my clients if they want quite a basic wedding,
yes,
which doesn't include accommodation or the venue costs or anything like that.
yeah,
They've got to work on about €250 a head.
okay.
And that doesn't include their travel or their dresses or, you know, anything like that. And it wouldn't include a band or a videographer. If they want to start booking what I call the extra suppliers, then those prices obviously go up per head. But
Well,
that's a good start.
yeah, I mean that's really, really good to be honest with you. I mean it's good as well. You've got such a diverse market, and people are coming back to you based on your merit as well. That you're doing them a very, very, very good job on what you're actually doing.
Oh, yeah, we hope so.
Yeah, because having spoken to you on several occasions, I mean it's you know when we originally met at the Expo conference in Barcelona, you're very, very passionate. And it shows in you. You really enjoy what you do. Am I right in saying that you're prepared really to go out of the box for them and do whatever's needed so that day's going to be special?
Yeah, I mean, they only get one, hopefully, opportunity to have such a beautiful time, you know, with their friends and family. And I just love parties, and you know, I like to create nice memories. I don't want anybody to walk away feeling that they've, you know, not had a particularly nice experience. It's not what we're about, you know, but the hospitality industry. And we do everything to make sure that our clients have fantastic memories, basically. It's the only time they're going to spend that time with so many family and friends all in one go.
Yeah. I mean, as well as the obviously the wedding side, we've been talking about budgets and everything. Do you have much of a call for, for actual, birthday parties and for corporate events? You get involved in that side of things as well?
Occasionally we do corporates, but not that much. I just prefer to stick to weddings.
Yeah.
Although corporate events are easier, but
Yeah.
obviously at the moment corporate events aren't coming. Nobody's
Well,
going anywhere, are they, at the moment?
well, I think that's half the problem. I mean, as well as yeah. I mean, obviously we've discussed about your planning and about your and about corporate events involved. Obviously within the planning side of things that you do, you're also involved as a wedded industry coach and a mentor, aren't you? You were
I
saying,
am.
and
Yeah.
it's something you really enjoy. I take it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been coaching and mentoring wedding business owners now for 6 years.
Wow.
Whether that's, you know, helping new wedding planners start up
Yeah.
or going into photographers' businesses that perhaps are a bit slow and rebranding and just looking at their marketing. And there's so many aspects to running a business, you know, it's pricing and everything to make sure that you're making a profit. And of course, to be able to sustain a business when we've got these sort of problems going on. So that's what I do. So 18 months ago, I set it up properly, and
Yeah.
it's called the Business of Weddings.
Fantastic.
And we've been doing courses, they've been going really well. And then what I've just done recently, because of everything that's gone on in the wedding industry in particular, has
Yeah.
been impacted big time, is we were just about to start wedding season. So I
Okay.
was going to start launching a new course in October, but I decided to break it down and offer a membership instead. So at the moment we've got it's called the Wedding Edit Club, and it's €19 a month. I don't know what that is in
Yeah.
sterling.
Okay.
And people can come into the membership. They're not tied in. They can go at any time.
Yeah.
And the idea now is that I'll be teaching people as much as I possibly can within like a club, within a membership club, rather than them having to fork out for courses at the moment that they probably can't afford.
Wow. Oh, but this is fantastic though, because how the way it's coming across with you, you've got quite a few bows to your string. As I say, you have your planning, you have your consultancy, so it almost keeps you busy. Really, must keep you
Yeah,
very,
it
very.
does.
It's
I'm not very good at being bored, Jonathan.
yeah. Well, that's a good thing. That's really good. Um, so basically, I mean, yeah, you said you've been in the industry, which I know you've reiterated for a long time, which is great. How did it all start, though? How did it? You know, especially I always like to ask people this question: how did it all start out?
Yeah, I did events in London before I moved to Spain,
Yeah.
but they were corporate events. And then when I came into Marbella, I'm actually a trained interior designer, so that's what I was doing as a job.
Okay.
But then we had the recession here in Spain, and the property market went. And
Yeah.
of course, that meant that all the interior businesses started to suffer. So
Hmm.
I did that freelance again for about another 3 years, but my hairdresser was getting married
Okay.
and she couldn't even find a chair bow. And I
Oh.
realised then that there was a massive gap in the market here for stylish wedding decor. So
Yeah.
I started up the business with that in mind, just to do decoration.
Oh my
But it's a bit
God.
of a long story. I did decor for the first few years, but then we had a hotel shut, and 7 of my clients had to move their weddings. I don't know if people know Los Monteros Hotel. And so that was when the planning started. We started helping our couples to move their weddings and obviously got much more involved.
Oh wow. Well, that is so interesting. To be honest with you, Laura. That is really interesting, and I always like to touch on that with people, how you started and everything, and it's amazing some of the, what how people actually came into what they actually do. So,
Yeah,
so Laura,
yeah.
do you prefer the do you prefer the Spanish market to the English way of things? What do you prefer?
In what way?
Do you prefer the actual the way that the the clientele is in terms of the venues, in terms of the suppliers, compared to the way things are in our country? Is there a difference in the mentality?
Um, I wouldn't say there's much difference. I mean, obviously, in Spain, we deal with a lot of destination weddings. We don't do any local
Okay.
weddings because the Spanish don't need wedding planners.
Yeah.
Um, but all the suppliers, we've got some brilliant suppliers here. We find with destination weddings that the clients, we don't get involved in the dress or the shopping or
Yeah.
that side of it.
Sure.
I mean, we purely concentrate on when they land here, basically. And
Oh,
so we don't have wedding dress suppliers, wedding dress shops. That's not particularly big here. Wedding
no.
stationery, that's not that big here.
No, no, no. Well, that's absolutely great. So just moving on, just briefly to the next question. Thank you for enlightening us on what you just said. Can I just ask you next? How many actual weddings and events? I know it's a difficult question. Have you participated in Spain? How many have you actually done?
Oh, that's a good question.
Roughly, just a rough
Um,
figure, just so we, yeah,
Gosh, 500.
yeah. I knew I knew the figure was going to be high just based on your experience, and so I take it I mean, being in Spain, the venues there are so varied. Where you've got your villas, you've got your beach, you've got everything really, I suppose, haven't you? To
Yeah.
choose from. To be honest, and you've got the weather as well, which makes a big difference. Um, so just moving on very very slightly, not too long now. What is your thoughts? I mean, you may have seen forums that we've touched on here in the UK. I know you follow us quite a lot here. You've been following me and a few of my colleagues as well. What's your take on wedding insurance? Do you feel it should be compulsory for every client to have? What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. We actually include it in our contracts. That they should take out wedding insurance. It's a big clause in one of our contracts because if they don't and something goes wrong, they can't start looking elsewhere for people to start sending deposits back, you know, sort of liability and everything like that. So we obviously have our own liability insurance, which covers, you know, us when we're out working, covers my staff. But for clients, you know, that are paying deposits and are booking things, it can go wrong. I mean, I had a wedding that couldn't get here years and years ago because of the ash cloud disaster. And they couldn't fly.
Well, yeah.
So it's not just COVID-19. I mean, all sorts of things can happen. And you know, it's just one. I mean, it's sort of you know, you're spending such a lot of money, and you're creating such a big event. Not to insure it, to me, just seems utterly insane. So that's something that we do ask all our clients to get. And you can immediately tell when we get to a situation like this, which of course we've never had before. Well, the ones that do have wedding insurance and the ones that don't. Well, anybody that takes it out now, of course, won't be covered for stuff like this. So,
I mean, the thing was here in the UK, only 30% of people actually took wedding insurance, and there's all sorts of, unfortunately, there's all sorts of upheavals going on at the moment in terms of claiming what's covered, what's not. It's a, you know, it's. If people would have taken it maybe 6 months to a year ago, which was known that some of the insurance companies were covering the indemnity when it comes down to pandemics, but a lot of them wasn't. And you know, I just hope after this episode, there's been enough publicity that people do start offering wedding insurance.
Yeah,
you know, they put it on their contracts, they put it on their website. Just because it does cover so much, it really does.
Yeah, and I think that it's a difficult situation at the moment for a lot of suppliers. I mean, they've had virtually this year's work wiped out. And then they've got some clients that are cancelling and asking for deposits back.
Yeah.
All I can say is that what we're doing here in Spain is obviously most of our weddings have been postponed.
Yes.
We don't have any that have actually cancelled. Some have. Some photographers I've spoken to are in this situation, but their contracts do say that deposit is non-refundable.
Yes.
I always advise people just to try and keep it nice with the clients. As soon as you start talking about contracts and talking about terms and conditions, that then starts to cause a problem. Well, and you've lost that relationship with that client. So all you can do is be as accommodating as you can. If they do get funny and they are going to take you to court, you can offer to pay it back as of when you can. You don't have to start throwing out deposits left, right, and centre that you probably don't have, because let's face it, the money that we charge isn't just for their wedding, it's to run our businesses. That's been priced accordingly. So that's the last resort, really. If you do find you are in that situation, no court is going to get upset if you've offered to pay that money back as of when you're working and as and how you can afford it, like a monthly amount.
Yes. A quick questions here from one of our viewers, Laura. J Ben Sands has asked a question. Do you think the cost of wedding insurance will go up because of the situation?
Yeah, without a doubt. That's what wedding insurance companies do. But, you know, if people are spending 30, 40, 50, 60,000 and they're asked to pay 300 for wedding insurance, it's relative, isn't it?
Well, in the scheme of things, it's nothing. To be honest with you, you know, it's I always
peace of mind.
I always say it's like buying a car. Really, you know, you spent a lot of money on the car. You know, something goes wrong with a car, you haven't got insurance, you're liable, and you're paying a lot more money for a wedding generally than you are for an average car.
Yeah, exactly. It's no different.
But sometimes it's a fact where we all feel in the industry, as much as we can explain things to clients, they do tend to cut corners a bit.
Sorry, what's that, Jonathan?
As much as we try to explain, obviously, about insurance sometimes to the client to tell them how relevant it is, they seem to cut corners and not want to do it. You know, it's
but I mean, you know, I think particularly after this, now that if somebody doesn't take out wedding insurance, they'd be mad not to.
Yeah, no. Well, thank you for clearing up that question for us, Laura. That's good of you. Just a few more questions now, just to ask you. in terms of social media and marketing, obviously, I know you've got your academy and everything else. And can I just ask what platforms you use and what do you find most effective in terms of platforms for you?
For different businesses, you need different platforms. So for the wedding planning company,
Yeah.
Instagram as a fly, sorry, Instagram, I would say is the most prolific, and
Yeah.
Pinterest.
Oh, you've got
And then for the wedding members club,
yeah.
Facebook is where I thought, where my audience are. It's more interactive. You can chat online. You have group. We've got it's called the Wedding Business Lounge Facebook group, and I've got people in there, and it's private, so people chat and share ideas and share jokes, that sort of thing.
No.
So it depends what sort of business that you've got as to where you're going to put out your marketing. And also, I'm a great believer in blogging.
Yeah, I mean, blogging's always very, very good. It's good for SEO as well, for your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a lot to do with Instagram at all?
Do I what?
Do you have a lot to do with Instagram?
I've got lots on Instagram, yeah. I get quite a few inquiries through Instagram.
How do you find it as a platform, though, for marketing?
Yeah, it's good. I find that the age group that obviously we're targeting for weddings is mainly on Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you very much for clearing that one up.
I only know that because I've got 2 daughters that are in their 20s.
Yeah.
And they're not really on Facebook. They are Instagrammers.
Yes. Oh, that's interesting. So it's like you say. I mean, I can just sort of elaborate on that a bit more. It does depend on the type of business and the type of clientele you're going for. I can say, like you, that Facebook is definitely the most interactive, but Instagram can also be very, very, very good in terms of doing your lives again and for photos, just for pictures. But
yeah,
they've all got their pros and cons in one way or another. It depends how you feel more comfortable, really.
The main thing I think is to be consistent throughout, because if a client wants to book you, they're going to start checking everything.
Oh yes.
So they'll go from your Instagram perhaps to your website, and then they'll go from your website to your blog, and then they'll go from your blog and they'll have a look on Facebook. They'll check out your Google reviews. So what I advise people that I coach is that everything that you've got out there is constantly updated and it's consistent, that you're showing up all the time.
Excellent. That's really excellent advice, Laura. Thank you for that. Just moving on now, very, very, very briefly. You talked about obviously COVID-19 has had a big impact on your business this year, and you've had postponements. Obviously, we think that obviously the wedding industry is going to kickstart again next year. I mean, do you think there's any chance it could happen this year, or are you more sort of gearing towards next year?
This year's complete write-off. People will start. I mean, we've postponed all our weddings now up to the end of August.
Yeah.
September, I'm asking those couples to wait until June to make a decision. We're all ready to go if they want to move. The problem we've got here is we do destination weddings, so much depends on where they're travelling from. So for me personally, a lot of my clients in the autumn are coming from the States and Canada.
Yeah.
So much will depend on their travel restrictions. They might not be allowed out of the country. Also, people are just generally nervous. And if they can still go ahead with their weddings, they might have smaller parties coming, i.e. the older people won't travel. I mean, it's massive what it's done to the wedding industry.
Is really funny that you said that. That's funny that you should say that, because a lot of people I'm talking to in the industry too, thinking that weddings may get smaller. The whole world is going to change. It's going to whether it's for the best or for the worst, we don't know, but it's definitely going to be changes, isn't there?
Oh, there can't not be after something so drastic as this. And in Spain, we're going to start trying to open up throughout May. We're doing it in 2-week stages. I mean, Spain has been on one of the strictest lockdowns in the world.
Yes, you have.
Alongside Italy. And I mean, it's literally been like living in a police state.
Of course.
So they're going to start trying to open it up slowly. People are allowed out for walks, but again, they're breaking it up so particular age groups are allowed out a certain times throughout the day, and then in the middle of May they're going to try and start opening up some of the cafes and bars, but a 30%, you can only have 30% of their full service. So we've got a problem now that a lot of the venues don't want to open up because they won't make money on 30% if they're only allowed, you know. So it's just a mess. And then, you know, week by week by week, we take little steps forward to see what we can do. We don't know how the hotels and the venues are going to be in September.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
But all we can do with, you know, the weddings for that year, for this year, is just make decisions in June.
Well, that's it. Absolutely. So really, it's just a matter of us, you know, sitting on the fence, playing by the rules, and then, you know, hoping for the best that the wedding industry will come alive again very soon. Really.
Yeah, and inquiries. You know, there's no inquiries really. I've actually just got one in before I spoke to you. So I said that I've had 2 in this week. So I think that we used to get like 15 in each week.
Sure.
So, but having had, you know, like the rolling dust bowl in my email now for about 6 weeks, people are beginning to start putting feelers back out, which is a good sign. They're all looking for next year and 2022.
Yes.
So it's a good sign. I mean, people will always fall in love and people will always get married. They will always do that. And we're here ready for when they decide they're coming back.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, after what you've just touched, just leading on to near the end now, how do you personally see the future of the wedding and events industry? What is your view?
It will come back. It might be a bit slow, and it might be slightly different to what we used to over the next, like this year and next year.
Okay.
But I think by 2022 it'll be fine. We're back to normal. And of course, all these things depend on whether there's a vaccine. Well, it's the confidence, it's building people's confidence back up. You know, and people do still want to travel. People do still want to get married. And so it will recover, but I think it's going to take longer than we originally thought. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Before we see if there's any other questions from our viewers here, can I ask you, is there anything else you would like to add after, you know, based on what we've discussed? Anything else you'd like to tell our viewers? Or are you happy?
I'm happy.
Fabulous. So guys, I mean, look, Laura's been kind enough to, you know, basically to come online this evening and to discuss, obviously, her point of views as a wedding planner based in Spain, and also a specialist for styling. And she also has a wedding academy, which keeps her busy. So you know. So she's obviously said she thinks within the, you know, we just got to sit on the fence for the time being. Hopefully the wedding industry will come back soon, but we can't rush these things. I wanted to say, first of all, a big thank you, obviously, to everybody who tuned in this evening. So thank you very much to everyone. Abba Benjamin, thank you very much, Abba, for tuning in, and Vinit again.
Oh, hi, Abba.
Hi, Abba. Vinit. Abba, yeah, being a student here, so thank you very much, Abba, for coming on. And obviously we've had Vinit Jory coming on, who I interviewed last time, the photographer and videographer. So before we go, is there any other questions from anybody for Laura to answer just before we go? And I say goodbye to everybody. Is there anyone else that would like to say, ask Laura any questions regarding what we've discussed this evening? That looks like we're all, let's give it a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds to see.
And if anybody's got any questions afterwards, are you leaving this in the group, Jonathan?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, you know, might be having dinner or whatever now. So if they've got questions for me, they can always pop them under this and I'll check back in and have a look.
Perfect. No, that's right. You know, Laura will always be pleased to answer exactly, you know, what you wish. If she can help put your mind to rest in any way at all, and give you some answers, she'll be only too pleased to. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just thank you very much for all tuning in. And Laura, Charles, all the way from Spain, from Marbella, a very, very big thank you to you. And I hope you keep well and stay safe, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm hiding on my mountain.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again, and all the best to you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Bye.
Okay. Bye, Laura. Bye.